Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon, here on Shamblecraft Season 2. So last episode we went and built up this nice big lab down here for us to do experiments in, and, well, since then not much has changed. There's only one small problem. I forgot that in the end wastes biome that I built over here, there needs to be glow lichen, which means we need to enter the end waste biome, and we have an endermite in there. So hopefully we can do this without setting our little friend free, but we basically just need to put a little bit on the ground and probably also knock out the torches while we do this. Because if we do this right, we shouldn't need them because the glow lichen should provide enough light for the entire area. You know what? This would probably be easier if we had ender pearls. Alright, ender pearls obtained, and now we can actually put in some glow lichen other than the first of spaces and also retrieve that wood because this stuff is expensive. So, quickly jump. We should be good with all of our MCMMO skills and our one piece of netherite armor to not take very much damage from this thing. Plus, this is a fairly small space, so we don't really need that much glow lichen anyway. That is taken out, and let's do that. Perfect. That successfully finishes that off. So, let's jump back up here. Nice try, but not today. Alright, let's get this thing sealed back up. And there we go, that looks much better. The dim lighting fits this so much better than the bright torches, and it really makes it feel more like the end. But with that sorted, it's time we got on to what we're going to be doing today. And that is over at the community spawn area. Alright, and here we are at the community area where we are going to be working. So the plan for today is we are going to be working on a few things in this massive cave here. Specifically in the massive aquifer that is in front of and behind me. So this is part of an area to launch us and take us to 1.19. Server's not restarting, we're just having a separate portal over here that is going to take us to some new areas. This is just a project to keep us all occupied while we wait for stuff to get set up so we can update the server. So our part of this is going to be inside this cave, specifically in the water part. But there is a whole other area right outside here that is currently being worked on, and it looks very, very nice. The other members have been doing a great job on this, and I am excited to see where this goes. But setting aside the area out there, we have this massive underwater cave here that goes for quite a ways. Ooh, tropical fish. Got a little bit of a lush cave here as well, which is why we're getting all the tropical fish. And this is absolutely massive. Now, we're definitely not going to be going and terraforming this whole area, but we can at least work on some small bits of it. So we've got an area marked out here for a submarine, which I don't think I'm going to work on right now, but we have this area right up here, which I think will go quite nicely to start with, because what we're going to be doing is we are going to be kind of turning this cave, not quite all of it, because this is a massive cave, and we are definitely not going to be terraforming this whole thing, but at least a small part of it is going to be turned into kind of a lost world. So I think that we are going to start by putting in a small little marine reptile into this little pool right up here. Alright, so as you may have noticed, the pool is still empty, but we have our little plesiosaur in over here. And the reason he's in over here is because that pool's apparently a little too short to put him in. So he's now chilling comfortably right over here, right at the top of the water. So when you come in on this dock here, which I'm presuming is going to be one of the main entrances, I don't quite know the plan for all the docks, he's the first thing you see. Now we still have a lot of space down there. You can see just how big we have of just cave. And the goal is pretty much to kind of fill most of this up. Now there's a couple other little animals that we could put in, but a lot of them require resources I don't have. So we'll probably have an ichthyosaur right over here, I think. We might fit in a mosasaur somewhere. And as for the rest, I'm not sure. I think I might want to put in some of the Cambrian life deeper in the cave. And that's mostly because I think those animals look kind of cool. And I think that they would be a nice touch to the area. Kind of like that stuff has basically just gotten trapped in this cave throughout the years. And it's just kind of continued living here just fine. So I think I'm going to work on getting a few more things in. We might actually add in some big bottoms to some of these areas. That way we actually have seafloor to actually terraform. Or so I suppose it should be cave floor? I don't know. Because this is pretty much a drop off all the way down. So I'm going to get that worked on and then I will be right back. All right, so we've gotten a couple more animals in. We've got one here, one over there, and we've got a crab all the way down here. And we've come across a small problem. Namely, we can't put buttons underwater on this version. So we're going to have to improvise, which means trying to do... Oh good, item frames still work. Put a button in there. Going to be small eyes, I guess, because of how buttons work. Maybe we'll change that to full blackstone block later, but because of one of the packs on the server, we should be able to use this piece of flint to turn the item frame invisible if we do. Okay, which button is it? That one. Item frame invisibility. Okay. Let's try this again. We'll rotate the button so that it's the way that I want it. And now let's do... I was not expecting it to change the orientation of the button. So let's fix that. There we go. So now we can have little invisible item frames. I think we're probably going to have to do full blocks of blackstone for the eyes as opposed to buttons. I just think that they will look better, but we at least can do eyes for these animals. Now, something I want to do, because we have so much space down here, is I think we can probably get in one of our orthocones, which is basically a giant squid-like creature that had a very long shell. And, well, these things take up quite a bit of space, and, well, we have a lot of it down here. Plus, what could go better for a giant ship area than having a giant squid-like creature under the water to go with it? So I'm going to go figure out where that needs to go. I know somewhere around here is where the actual ships are, because I know that goes up to a little house that was for Fally's birthday. So I know where one hole is, but it's not underneath the ships. But I am going to go figure that out, and then I will be right back. Alright, so I've gotten a couple more animals in. We have a Amelocaris all the way over here, hiding in this little cove. And way down here, we managed to get one of our giant orthocones in, which I am quite happy about. It just shows how big this cave is, because this thing is about 60 blocks long, and it still looks quite comfortable in this cave. And also, the eyes look great now that we can't actually see the item frame here, which I am really happy with that. Eyes of Ender works so well for squid eyes. I love how that turned out. But I also want to get a little bit of kind of terraforming in around here. And I do... Oh yeah, I can't waterlog carpets either. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to just stick to some seagrass, some kelp, and moss blocks, as well as stairs and slabs. I'm thinking we'll get a few pieces of kelp scattered in around here, just to add some plant life to the bottom of this cave. It looks kind of dull and boring without any plants at all. And with Java's kelp mechanics, all of our kelp should not be at the same height, which will definitely help add to the natural feel of the cave. Now, I also want to put in a little bit of seagrass, just different plant, give it a little more depth than just the kelp, since the seagrass will fill up the bottom part of the water, while as the kelp will rise and fill up the middle part. This way the plants have layers to them, which will again help with the natural feel. And I think that these two things, in combination with stairs and slabs, once I actually get a few of them in, will look really nice. Probably keep some mossy slabs in this area because we have the moss. Not quite so sure about the rest of this. We may not do very much actual terraforming to the bottom of this, other than just getting in a little bit of seagrass and kelp. because you're not going to be going down here very often. You're probably not going to see a whole lot of it, except up from the surface, which your main focus, if we put in all the kelp and stuff, is going to be the axolotls hunting the tropical fish, and also the plants and all of the animals that we put in here. At least hopefully the plant life kind of distracts from the lack of any terraforming on the bottom of most of this cave. So I'm going to get a few more things in, probably get another couple animals. I'm going to put another crab over here, or maybe a trilobite. I think I've got enough space here to put a trilobite, which might be cool. And then I will be right back. All right, so plants are in. The kelp has mostly grown up down here, and I think it looks great. Now, we've really only done this section right here, right under the sub, and that little pool over here that we started with, but I like how this turned out. I'm quite happy with it. And I'm not doing the rest of the cave like this because that is way too much work. We do have a few pieces scattered about. We have a little trilobite down here. We have a little fish here that I can't remember what this fish is supposed to be. I know it's an early jawless fish. And over here we have one of our ichthyosaurs. And I'm quite happy with how these guys turned out. And I think that this looks great. Swimming around down here, you have quite a bit of animals, even if it's just this one area. And I am quite happy with how everything has turned out down here. Now we still have a whole big section of cave left to work on. And yeah, there is a lot of terraforming left to do. I did put in some bits around the edges of the pools here, mostly to add a bit of texture and just kind of terraform it just a little bit. I don't think it needs too much, but just a little bit adds something to it. This is why we've got some sea pickles here that are out of the water, just to give it that look like it's still damp, and maybe occasionally it gets submerged, but it's not quite underwater, and I think that adds to the effect. I knocked out a bunch of the torches that were around here and replaced them with either sea pickles nearby in the water, or a bit of glow lichen, because with the 0 light level requirement for spawns, glow lichen is actually quite nice for spawn proofing because it's barely noticeable and it provides just a tiny little bit of light, just enough to spawn proof so you still have that kind of moody dark cave feel. But I think with that, this area, or at least the water portion of it, is done. You can see quite a few of our animals from up here, which was part of my goal. And so with that, I would like to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.